But what's gonna happen is, let's ride. Russell Wilson, what day? It's 2 games in a row. Let's ride.
And the defense playing ball for the Broncos
Let's
right
ride.
now. Like, they
y'all
turn the ball over. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
7 points.
And
Y'all
if the
think
Bills lose this game, stick a fork in them.
Okay, but let's ride.
Hi, everybody. Hello. Welcome to Paper Route. Hopefully you guys are watching us right now. If
Welcome
you are,
back.
Oh, thanks, guys. Hello.
We miss you, Ash.
Yeah, we definitely miss you.
Thanks, guys.
You'd have been
That's
proud.
so
We
nice.
held it down for you.
You guys had to go without me. How'd Brandon do?
He held it down.
Yeah, I saw that he tortured you with his Broncos stuff while I was gone. Sorry you had to deal with that in my absence.
Know what you mean? What are you talking about? Let's ride. B, you owe me something. I don't know what we
don't owe
bet
you
yesterday.
nothing.
They should have played the entire clip. I know we have a bet there, and then also.
You guys made a bet?
We did not bet.
Oh, okay.
No, wait, we should have bet. I should have bet. But we talked about if Josh Allen, if he didn't play well, you would have to let him go, right?
Yeah.
So I would love to get your thoughts there later. But anyways, before we, dive into Let's Ride in the Broncos, I told y'all, they beat who? 2 teams in a row, the Kansas City Chiefs, and then they beat, who did they play last night? I don't even remember.
Buffalo Bills.
The Buffalo Bills. They're back. So anyway, Ashley, welcome back. The Broncos are back. What is it? Tuesday. We're going to have a phenomenal show today. I'm excited. Thank you.
Listen, first and foremost, Andrew BC, I think I can hear y'all in the thing. So let's just make sure all our mics are situated before we dive into the show. I think there's a little bit of an echo. I think it's gone now. I think we're good.
There we go.
There we go. Now we're good. Sorry about that, guys. Welcome to Paper Out. Happy Tuesday. I'm Ashley Nicole Moss. This is Brandon Marshall. Brandon Flowers over here. If I look a little bit tanner, it's because I just got back from Belize last night. It was absolutely incredible. I'm always big. I tell this all the time, big on energy. And I felt like that the first time I went to Jamaica, which is why I go back. And I felt that when I was in Belize. It's such a beautiful country. The people are so hospitable. It's just, the waters are like turquoise and there's so much natural, there's so many animals there that are just really cool. We got to see some sharks.
You saw some sharks.
Saw some sharks, some sea turtles. And if you go out beyond the reef, you can see some hammerhead sharks. But what I really like about it also is...
I ain't going there.
It's very, very cool. It was very cool. You could swim with them. It was dope. It was such a crazy experience. What are they called? I think they're called Nerf sharks. Or
Yeah.
they don't eat
Oh, yeah,
people.
they harmless, yeah.
They don't
Is
eat
it
people.
nurse or nerf?
Nurse sharks.
Nurse, okay.
Yeah, they don't eat people.
Right.
So you can swim with them. It's really, really cool. There's like these crazy birds.
Did you swim with them?
The waters were a little choppy that day because it was a rainstorm was coming, so we didn't get a chance to swim with them. But when I go back, I'm definitely gonna go back. I'm gonna swim with them for sure.
You're wild.
I'm
You're
that
wild.
person. Like I'll go in the water and like I'll
it's
do
the
like you
same
only live
side.
once. Like that's a crazy experience. But I also loved about it is that they use all of their own resources to like feed the island. So we flew into Belize City and then we went to San Pedro, which you have to take like a 13-minute like little baby plane ride, and you fly across this amazing blue water, and you see the just all the different smaller islands, and then you get there. And I mean, everything that you eat is caught that day and it's picked that day and it's just fresh. And it's just, the people are so hospitable. I had an absolutely amazing time and I can't wait to go back. My parents are going to go.
They're gonna go?
Yeah, I spoke so highly of it. Like I felt like such an amazing connection to it. And it was such a calming, just relaxing experience. So if you haven't been to Belize, definitely check it out. You guys would definitely like it. You should check it out.
Yeah, okay.
It's definitely up your alley.
Take a lady there.
Or go by yourself for like a meditation trip. Or
What's the vibe though? Do you
It's
go with a lady or do you go
No,
by?
it's everything. You can go with friends. Like I went with friends.
Right.
I didn't go with a person. I went
Okay.
with friends. But you could definitely go there with a person, man, woman, whatever
There you
you're
go.
into.
Yeah.
You brought pictures for everybody to see?
Yeah, I'll send Andrew some pictures like throughout the show so we can show them at the end so you guys can check it out. It's really pretty.
Yesterday I was like, I told everybody where you were and
Not
what you
my
were doing.
pictures of
And
like
then, then I was like, prepare the pictures because we gonna talk about it. I was like, we ain't putting no pictures up on it would have been a bad look. Good look for you, but bad look for us.
all good.
Yeah,
Listen.
you was having a good time.
It was amazing. I was it came at like the right time. I feel like I've been working. It was a nice little break. I was off my phone. It was
Little
it was
reset.
really dope. Yeah.
Andrew, now that Ashley's back, we can potentially show the pictures with her hair. It was it'd be uncomfortable showing the pictures without her hair. So if those are ready, oh my
we
goodness.
throwing AirPods? What's going on here? I leave for a couple of days and we're just like, all right. Let's dive into some Monday headlines while I send some Andrew some pictures we can show later on in the show. But
he has them.
No, there's other ones that I haven't posted that are on my phone that I like show the island that I want to show. Also, it was really cool that before we move on real quickly, I got to do one day I got to go to a local high school. One of the reasons I went was to help expand basketball to islands that, you know, are not big tourist attractions for NBA players in the off season or just the sport of basketball to expand the horizon. So we got to go to a local high school. There were so many young women there, which I absolutely loved. And we put on a little bit of a 5-on-5 and then we did some drills with them. And I had those pictures too, I'll share. But it was so cool to be able to expand basketball because of how much it changed my life and expand it to a smaller island.
That's
like
awesome.
That. It was really cool. So, all right, Brandon, I know last night was a good night for you. So what's your Monday morning headline? Or what's your headline this Tuesday morning, I should say?
You know, it's just something light, you know, in the
God.
kitchen. I'm in the kitchen, Russ cooking. Is Josh Allen cook? You know, I'm just in the kitchen right now. We will discuss. And I want to hear from people in the chat. What's their thoughts? I want to hear from the people. How do they feel, Brandon, about Russell Wilson? How do they feel about Josh Allen? So let's go in the kitchen and cook up something.
I want to move to the hardwood. We're going to have to deal with B all show about this. And I just want to know who would be harder to guard, Kobe or LeBron?
Oh, easy question, but I'll wait for it.
Yeah?
I'll wait for it. Super easy. Yeah.
Okay, I can't wait for this.
I mean, it's no surprise, but my headline is, how about them Cowboys? Listen, that was the game that was being shown in Belize. They were showing the CBS 425 game, so I was able to watch my Cowboys just annihilate the New Jersey Football Giants in paradise. But it has people asking, after CeeDee Lamb's post-game comments where he says he is the best receiver in the NFL. Is that fact or is that cap? We'll dive into it. But first, we are going to ride, and we're going to ride with the Denver Broncos. Because last night, the Denver Broncos got a big win Monday Night Football against the Buffalo Bills, and the battles and the free falls in the AFC just continue. Now, the Bills lost in the most moronic, just idiotic way possible. 12 men on the field disqualified what would have been possibly the game-winning field goal. But that was not the case. Like I said, 12 men on the field, so the penalty ended their dreams of locking in a win. Now, this is just a free fall for the Buffalo Bills. It's been an up-and-down season, all season for them. Josh Allen, the turnovers, the losses against teams that they should beat, and the wins against teams that they maybe shouldn't have beaten. It's just been an up and down roller coaster. So there's a lot to dive into this. We'll first start on the Buffalo side of things because I have some news here for everybody. Let me go ahead and pull this up. The Buffalo Bills have fired offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey. That was about 30 minutes ago. That was per Adam Schefter. So their offensive coordinator is now out. Now, Trayvon Diggs, brother of Stephon Diggs, wide receiver for the Buffalo Bills, has been tweeting some things in favor of his brother. One thing he said, man, 14 got to get up out of there.
I saw that.
14 obviously is Stephon Diggs' number. And that was 12 hours ago. But this was just an hour ago where Trayvon tweeted out, let's not forget he didn't start going off until bro got there. He, meaning Josh Allen, and bro, meaning Stephon Diggs. So, I mean, Brandon, a lot to dissect here.
Right.
First and foremost, I mean, the firing of offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey, kind of expected, right?
No, actually,
considering how the season has gone.
No, it's breaking news, and I'm surprised by it.
Wow, okay.
But this is what happens in the NFL, bro. Like, it's such a tough business when your expectations are Super Bowl. And you're digressing as an offense, and your quarterback, who you just paid a lot of money, and he's supposed to be a top 5 quarterback playing the way he's playing, something has to give. I am surprised, though, Ashley, that they made that decision today. They got to figure it out. But, some people are saying, like the Josh Allen and the Bills, like they still have a chance. What I would say is it's not even about this season. I think this whole thing is done. I think this whole thing is cooked. It's not just Josh Allen. You think about what Trayvon Diggs is saying. That's the second time that he's tweeted something. He did it before the season, right?
Yeah.
He's doing it now. So, Stephon Diggs isn't happy. So he's probably going to get out of there this offseason. This whole thing is imploding.
In sports, B, you always got to have a sacrificial lamb, right?
Mm-hmm.
When things not going well, somebody has to get that bad end of the stick to just blame everything on and just say, if we got rid of this problem, maybe we'll be all right. And it's also a copycat league. What did the Raiders just do?
Mm-hmm.
Right? The Raiders fired their coach. They're not going to get rid of their head coach over there, but they got rid of their offensive coordinator too. And then they star receiver Devontae Adams started getting his touches. He started being happy because he was frustrated before.
Right.
Now they hoping the same thing happened with Diggs. Like, Diggs, we got Dorsey out of there. We got somebody else in charge now. We're going to start feeding you. Like, they can't have Diggs going into this offseason saying he want out.
Right.
Like, they can't have that happen. So they have to do everything they can.
That's done.
Yeah. You think it's done?
Yeah, but you got to think about it. Trayvon said it before the season when they were going back and forth. They've been trying to paint this pretty picture between Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen for about 6-7 months now. When your brother, the closest person to you, is saying we got to get him out of there in the offseason, and then he says it again, you already know where his mind's at, bro. And so I think Stephon Diggs is definitely going to get out of this offseason because he is one of those guys that's willing to get uncomfortable. Like,
I agree. But at the same time, I don't think Buffalo would send them to a contender. Not in the AFC for sure. Like, they're not letting Diggs go to a Kansas City or not even a Cincinnati or anywhere, right?
Why does it matter? Why wouldn't they just send him to? Why wouldn't they send him to wherever he would want to? Now, obviously,
Because
there's still a lot of football left.
Huh? They don't have that relationship with him. They didn't draft him.
But they're going to go to the highest bidder or the best scenario for them. That's, you know what I mean? So it could be anyone. It could be the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, that's possible. That's possible.
Could it be a situation like we see in basketball all the time? And I know the difference between the NFL and the NBA is prevalent. We see that all the time. But if Stephon Diggs just refuses to go anywhere but Dallas or anywhere but a contender in some way, shape, or form, does that seem more of a possibility? Yeah, you don't want to send him someplace that is going to be a direct competition or a direct conflict to you. But then also, what good is a disgruntled wide receiver that does not want to be there? And Stephon Diggs, we already know, is comfortable with what Brandon likes to always say, getting uncomfortable. He did it in Minnesota. What happened when he was in Minnesota? He stomped and, sometimes threw tantrums and just made it very clear, vocally also just like, look, I'm not getting the touches that I need here. I'm not producing here. This is a direct reflection of this organization and I don't want to be here. And ultimately got to Buffalo because of that. So if he does that again, what's to say that doesn't work in his favor a second time around?
Well, yeah, and here's the deal. Like, we'll see what happens, surrounding Diggs come February, March, right? New league year starts. There's going to be a lot of action, okay? And we'll see how he approaches the next few weeks. But let's be clear here. The Buffalo Bills are still in it. Where are they sitting at 5-5? Why you make that?
They are though.
Mathematically, they're still in it, right? So like they're sitting at 5-5. They still have an opportunity, right? So we'll see what happens. If this firing of Ken Dorsey sparks the offense and get Josh Allen back on track. They gotta find a way. What I would say. My final thoughts on Buffalo before we get to my man Russell Wilson. The window is closed. It's done.
It's not done.
It's done, bro. It's done. And here's why. Here's why it's done. The AFC, Ashley, you wasn't here. B, do you remember your top 4 trusted quarterbacks in the AFC?
Yeah.
What are they? Who are they?
So I went Mahomes, Burrow. Then I went
CJ,
Stroud,
and Tua. Now, who else could be honorable mentions around, your top 4, top 5? We know Josh Allen is one of those guys, right? But who else there?
Lamar. My guy, Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence, and then the guy in L.A. for the Chargers.
Yeah, Herbert.
Bro, the AFC is stacked. These teams, most of these teams are in better position. You guys are fighting against each other. This window is done, bro. You think Joe Burrow's going to let Josh Allen creep in there? You think Lamar Jackson's going to let Josh Allen creep in there without a Stephon Diggs? Who you going to go? Who's going to go there?
But my only pushback to you, like, I hear what you guys are saying, that mathematically the Bills are still in it, and I don't disagree with that. But when we talk about realistically, are the Bills actually still in it? Like, they're playing very sporadic. And at this point in the season, we're talking week 10 going on week 11, you need to start seeing consistency from the teams that are supposed to be contenders. Right. All those little mistakes and those up and down plays and those up and down performances, that was for like October, September football. The fact that you lose a game against the Denver Broncos, because of 12 men on the field is asinine. That you're doing that almost close to Thanksgiving is next week.
Right.
And you always say that football starts November, Thanksgiving specifically. You still look like a team that's fresh out of the preseason for a big chunk of this football season. So, yeah, mathematically you're still in it, but realistically, this is not a team to me that can make any type of noise, even if they get into the playoffs, because they're a liability on the things that they shouldn't be a liability on. And also, Josh Allen, it's interesting to me, if this was Lamar Jackson, he'd be getting ripped in the media. But all I have seen for Josh Allen are excuses on why he commits so many turnovers, why he's not having a good season, why this, why that. It's him. It's a him thing. Like, and I hate the fact that, you know, other quarterbacks are held to other standards, and we can dive into this deeper. I'm not going to do that, but we all know how that goes sometimes.
Right.
If this was a different quarterback, if this was a Dak Prescott, if this was a Lamar Jackson, he would not be getting the grace and the justifications and the excuses that Josh Allen notoriously gets and has gotten all season. A lot of these games come down to he's not the quarterback that you are expecting him to be when he goes into these games. He's supposed to be better than how he's playing, and he's not. He looks bad, and I just don't. I say all this to say mathematically you both are right. Realistically, this team's not going to do anything.
Right. Well, Josh Allen, remember I said this in the Jets game, opening night, right? Aaron Rodgers goes down. Zach Wilson is inserted. You guys are supposed to win that game. He didn't. He looked bad. And remember, I was like, yo, look at his body language and look into his eyes on the sideline. Like, I never want to see a top 5 quarterback look that way. Ever. You never seen Tom Brady look like that. You never seen Peyton Manning look like that.
Personality.
Bro, it doesn't matter. Bro, think about any of the best quarterbacks we've ever seen. Drew Brees. Let's go down the list.
He's never gonna be.
You never seen him like this, bro. I'm tired of seeing Josh Allen sit on the sideline like this. How many times have we seen him like that, you know, in the season?
But I don't expect his ceiling to be that. I think his ceiling is Big Ben. Like, for him to reach his
so that means he's going to win 2 Super Bowls.
Right.
Big Ben won 2, right? Then
he can win 2. He can win 2.
In the AFC with Joe Burrow, you got to go through Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson.
I would have agreed with you if this were a few seasons ago.
Ooh.
But I feel like Josh Allen. If this was a few seasons ago, I probably wouldn't have pushed back on this because the jury still would have been out. But I feel like
it's a wrap. Tell him, Ashley.
I feel like Josh Allen. I haven't seen the strides in Josh Allen that I expected to see based on how he looked when he first got in here. Now, this is not to say he's still not a top 10 quarterback. He is. I'm not going to say that he's not, but he hasn't.
That's debatable.
I don't think it's.
It's debatable now.
You can debate maybe where in the list he is, but
let's go through it. Let's go through it.
He's out of the top 10.
No, bro, I'm talking about playing the way he's been playing.
I haven't seen that Big Ben or Drew Brees, or I haven't seen that development in him yet. He's still he's somewhere in this limbo where he's like almost lost that moxie, that pizzazz, that's the look. That's what I mean. That's what I'm talking about. Something's not clicking. It's missing. It's not clicking.
It's not that deep. And I know you want to get to Russ, so this is my last thing. if Josh Allen can just stop turning the ball over.
That's a big part of it, though, B-Flow.
Right. If he can just stop turning the ball over, I guarantee you they can run the table this year and make the playoffs.
I agree.
Streaky and make a run in the playoffs.
So
That's how good he is.
asking someone
He
to
is really good.
You're
He's
literally
streaky.
asking him to stop turning the ball over as if that's a flip of a switch. Like,
Well,
it's been such a part of his game that it's not like he just wake
You
up tomorrow and say, I'm going to stop turning the ball over.
Ball security is job security, yours and mine, right? So that's a saying, right? And everybody needs to understand that we walk into the facility every single day, and that's the number one thing: protect the football, protect the football, protect the football. So he can get streaky, he can protect the ball, but Ashley, you are right. He's a gunslinger, right? He has a little bit of Brett Favre in him, right? He has a little bit of Ben Roethlisberger. I don't remember Ben's numbers and how well he protect the ball, but he has that where he can throw a boneheaded pick. But the upside is so tremendous, and that's what B's saying. Like, this dude can make any throw on the field. He can get extremely hot. We saw that when he went back and forth. Was it Joe Burrow?
Yeah,
was it him and Joe Burrow where they went back and it was like 40-something? It was a crazy game.
And 2.5 of the turnovers wasn't his. First play of the game wasn't his fault.
Yes.
When the
That was
ball
the
hit off
receiver.
Kincaid's
That was the
hands,
receiver.
it
That's
wasn't
right.
his fault.
Yeah,
Like,
Gabe Davis. So that one went straight through Gabe Davis'
handing
hands,
the
and now
ball
you see it
off-
on the stat sheet as 2 picks.
Yeah.
Yep.
You handing the ball off, it get fumbled.
Well,
that's 3 turnovers.
We
right
shall
there.
see, but I do think, though, that it's not as easy as just flipping a switch. I think that right now at this point, turnovers are so engraved in how he plays his game that it takes more. It's going to take more than just a week for him to change that.
It's just mindset.
It's so deeply engraved in how he plays that it's going to take a lot of effort for him to completely change that aspect. And
Right.
we shall see. But listen, from one quarterback to another.
Hey, not just say no. Start over. Start over. You're not just going to say quarterback. You put some respect on his name,
I didn't
Ashley.
even finish.
You just said one quarterback to another
but you
quarterback.
Didn't let me finish the
A
sentence.
great quarterback. Can you say great quarterback?
From one quarterback to the most winningest quarterback in
Yes,
football,
yes.
Russell Wilson, everybody.
Yes. This is what we're talking about. This is why you never give up. And the same thing that got Russell Wilson through the fire, through the mud, through the pain is what Josh Allen need to do. It's so hard when the world is at your head, when everybody's talking about you. It's so hard to lift yourself up every single day and look yourself in the mirror and say, I believe in me. I know nobody else believes in me. I don't even know if people in the building believe in Russell Wilson. But now we look up and he beat the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. Brandon, didn't you say Patrick Mahomes? Look, but he can't even look at me. You said Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback. He has the it. Nobody is better than him. The Kansas City Chiefs might go back in a back-to-back, but he beats them. He knocks them off. And then Josh Allen. I know this is why we shouldn't even start it with Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills talk, because it almost takes away from, where the Denver Broncos are. Because going into this game, everybody was still high on the Buffalo Bills. Everybody was. And it's going to take a little bit away from the Denver Broncos because they were like, oh, they just fired their guy. Are they really good? Josh Allen this. No, the Denver Broncos is here. Defensively, B, what happened? They were trash, and now defense is back balling, turning the ball over, getting stops. They made him look bad, okay? And then Russell Wilson, he's just been efficient all year. He's the number 2 most efficient quarterback in the NFL, but nobody want to talk about that. I digress.
Listen, defense is playing well, but let's just stop there, right? When you win a turnover margin, 4-0, 4-1, like, the game isn't supposed to be – y'all should have lost that game still. Like, that was the ugliest win that you can possibly win, and you over here ranting, saying that the Broncos back, Russell Wilson back. Do you really believe that offense that he's running is back the way he operated last night?
Well, I would say this. First off, B, it pains me hear you talk like that. You went into, I don't even know what mode you just went in. You played the game. How dare you say, oh, it was an ugly win? Does it matter? When we're in the locker room post-game and we go home with our families and we're sitting there, we're drinking our wine or we're drinking our Hennessy or whatever, celebrating our victory, does it matter if we won by 3 points or 1 point, if it was ugly or not? Does it matter, B? So that's one. And two, I agree with you on the offense. I feel that Russell Wilson is still playing a little bit conservative, right? If you go to his Instagram handle, I believe it's called dangerous Wilson or something, dangerous. I don't think he's playing dangerous right now. I think he's playing more complimentary football and not like letting it go. I want to see more opportunities to Cortland. I want to see more balls thrown down the field. So I agree with you on the offense, but doesn't that give them a better opportunity the second half of the season if he gets going, really get going?
Okay, listen, what we talked about yesterday, if you ain't get going now in week 10, it's probably not going to happen. And when you talking about ugly wins, yeah, we saying we got to win, but defensively, we like, hey, yo, we got that win. Like, hey, D, we won another one, baby. We're going to have to win some more because we know we're not going to get that much from the offense. Like, you can't tell me that offense went. You don't trust that offense to go win another game. Like,
I trust Russell Wilson. You heard Ashley when she corrected herself. The most winningest quarterback through 10 years. That's more wins and more clutch than Dan Marino, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning.
That never came out of my mouth. I just said the most winningest quarterback. I never said a number, and I only said that because you made me redo the intro.
but B, honest question.
I'm being honest. What do you mean honest question? Like, you don't think I've been honest about
my I think you're being optimistic, and I think you're being, we all know that's your bro, that's your bromance. I get it, but like realistically speaking, a win is a win. Not taking that away from them, but you won because the Bills are not that bright.
You sound like Brandon.
Hold on. Is that not a fact?
That's true.
What do you mean it doesn't matter?
12, I'm not saying it matters. I'm saying 12 men on the field is a Bills issue, not the Broncos outplaying them issue. Is that fair to say?
Let me ask you this question.
Is that fair to say?
Say it again, because I wasn't listening. 12
men on the field basically removing
yeah, it's a Bills issue.
Okay, so let's start there. All I'm saying by saying that is, again, a win is a win. It's in the column. It's there. But I don't think you can jump out of the window because of that. I don't think you can jump out of the window because they beat the Kansas City Chiefs with an injured Travis Kelce and a flu-ridden Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
There's been wins within the Broncos season. There have been wins that people thought weren't going to exist within the Broncos season, not taking that away. But I don't think you can jump all the way out the window and say, this is the beginning of a playoff run for the Denver Broncos. They're going all the way. Like, I don't.
Why not?
Because it's too many steps in between, and there's too many gaps in between the teams that are in that position and the Denver Broncos. The gap between contender and the Broncos is larger than what these two wins mean. That's all I'm saying.
So I would agree, right? Like, when you look at this situation, I think there's a few teams that may surprise us down the stretch, right? Like, even that
you think the Broncos are one?
The Broncos could potentially be one.
No, not potential. Do you think they are one? We're approaching week 11. Do you think that they are?
Yes. I think they're. If I had a bucket right here, and I had to put some teams in this bucket of teams that could potentially get on track and sneak their way into the postseason. The Broncos could be in there, right? Even the Buffalo Bills, right? We just crushed the Buffalo Bills. They fired their offensive coordinator. But, B, you just said they could get streaky and they can make some noise in the postseason. So there's always teams that come out of nowhere. Last year was who? Last year was the Lions. Last year was the Jacksonville Jaguars. There was probably two more teams that came out of nowhere down the stretch, okay? I always remember, because I'm a big Pittsburgh Steelers fan from Pittsburgh, 2005 Pittsburgh Steelers. Mm-hmm. They were in the same position with the same record as the Broncos, okay? And then they went on this legendary run. Remember, that was the year they went to the Super Bowl and won the Super Bowl.
But this is the
so, and I'm not saying, and let me be clear, I'm not saying that the Broncos will win a Super Bowl. I don't even think they're good enough to win the Super Bowl. Not this year. I think we got to see Russell get to like really dominating. I think that there's another level that he can get to.
But that's what I want to get to, not to cut you off. It don't look like Sean Payton trusts Russ like that, right? I don't feel like he's letting Russ go. In that first drive, he ain't letting Russ cook. In that first drive, when they got that first turnover, first play of the game, it was like 3 straight runs in a row. And just kicking the field going like, Russ, just don't blow it. Like, don't turn the ball over. It's like he's not opening up the playbook to Russ, I feel. And I don't feel like he trusts Russ fully. And if he don't trust Russ,
but
like,
you know who trusts Russ?
Is going to be contained.
Hold on real quick before you say he don't trust Russ. You know who trusts Russell Wilson? Russell Wilson is me.
You?
Yes, me.
Okay. Well,
I didn't even
Brandon.
watch the end of the game.
Brandon.
I was so tired. I was drinking some glass of some wine last night. I was unpacking all of my stuff. I moved into a house, right, a new house. So I'm unpacking all my stuff, and I got tired. So third quarter comes around. I say, I don't think I'm gonna make it. Went straight to bed. Sierra hit me. What's going on? Sis, I turned the game off. What are you talking about? You turned the game off. Sis, we good. That's what I told her. I said, sis, we good. We going to bed. I don't care what it's going to look like. And she can fact check this, bro.
Okay.
She can fact check this. That's how much I trust the Denver Broncos and Russell Wilson.
Before we move on to our guests, what would you say? Defensively, the Broncos are phenomenal. Top 10, I believe, in the NFL currently, right? Mm-hmm. So that's not an issue. Overall, what would you say the two biggest issues of this football team are?
The Denver Broncos? Mm-hmm. We just touched on it, right? Like, there's a reason I'm asking. So, okay,
the two biggest for you. So
the two biggest challenges, I think that offensively, right, they don't threaten me.
Okay.
And they have the pieces to do it.
So non-threatening offense is one.
That's right.
And second?
Two, I would say, man, defense has turned it around. Mm-hmm. Pass pro.
Okay.
Pass pro. Pass pro needs to be better. There's too much pressure on the quarterback.
Okay. So with those two issues that they have, it approaching week 11, and you look at the other teams in the conference, and you look at the other teams around the NFL right now, is there enough time for the Broncos to fix those two major issues to do what you are saying that they have the possibility of doing? So that's where me and B-Flow are disagreeing with you. We don't think that what they have done so far this season is enough to override the biggest issues that they have within their offense to really make a run. That's our whole point. We're not taking away from how they've been able to turn around and how they've been able to, get wins out of, it seemed just like, situations that were just not in their favor. But their fundamentals within the offense, we just don't think there's enough time for them to fix that to compete with the teams that don't have those issues.
So okay, I hear you guys. And look.
And last point on this, because we have our special guest. So last point's yours.
I don't know if he's ready. Check the text.
He's ready.
Oh, he's ready. Mm-hmm. It's a steep hill to climb for the Denver Broncos and other teams in this position. But there will be a team that climbs this hill, okay? We've seen it year after year after year. There's always at least one team that comes out of nowhere. Yes, week 10, week 11, hit their stride, and you're like, oh, wow. Again, it was the Lions last year. Again, it was the Jacksonville Jaguars last year. The AFC is interesting. We know who the good teams are. We know who the teams that should be good, like the Buffalo Bills. But if you look at it, everyone has 5 losses, 4 losses, right? Then you got the AFC North, which is really interesting. Everyone's sitting with 3 losses except the Cincinnati Bengals with 4. So there's going to be a team that turns it on and figures it out. And it can be the Denver Broncos. Why? Because you do have and look, if they can't, then we gotta figure out the problems. You got Russell Wilson, you got a Super Bowl winning head coach in Sean Payton, and you got your defense back on track. Last year they were top 5. Okay. This year they started off at the end of the bottom of the barrel, and now they're working their way back there. So yes, I do believe that the Denver Broncos can go on a run.
All right, well, time will tell. We are approaching week 11 of the NFL season, but now we have approached our Yo Rookie, presented by Pepsi Zero Sugar NFL Rookie of the Week segment. Well, first and foremost, we have to congratulate a little quarterback down in Houston, Texas, C.J. Stroud, who was the Rookie of the Week last week, and will probably continue to be a nominee each week for the rest of the season. Absolutely balling. Shout out to those guys down in Houston, Texas. He is our Week 9 winner.
There you go.
But now we're going to go ahead and move on to our Week 10 nominees. So, BC, throw that up there on the screen. Let's run through these guys real quick. Who is out? Who is on our list? There we go. Well, CJ, here he is again. CJ down in Houston, Texas, like I said, quarterback,
Unbelievable.
threw for 356 yards and a touchdown in the Texans' Week 10 win. We have out of Detroit, Jahmyr Gibbs posted 112 scrimmage yards and 2 rushing TDs in the Lions' win. We have Bijan Robinson down in the ATL, had over 100 scrimmage yards and a rushing touchdown in Week 10. We have out of Green Bay, Jaden Reed caught 5 passes for 84 yards and a touchdown this week. We have out in Arizona, I don't want to mess up this name, BJ, how do you say this, B-Flow? Ajulari? Okay, just making sure. Had 8 tackles and 2 sacks in the Cardinals win. It was also the return of Kyler Murray in that game. And last but not least, out of LA, out of Seattle, we have Devin Witherspoon had 5 tackles and a forced fumble in the Seahawks win. Very, very nice. Now, listen, I said that we had a special guest with us, and we have a special guest with us. So everybody, welcome out of Green Bay, Packers wide receiver Jaden Reed is joining us. Welcome to the show, Jaden.
How's it going?
How's it going? How are you?
Good.
What up, bro? How you feeling? Were you in a receiver segment room? Where you at?
Yeah, I'm in the receiver room. We just got done watching a little film of the Chargers, so yeah, I'm here chilling in the receiver room right now.
Okay, can you like give us a little tour?
No.
We would love to see like the receivers room.
We got some new facilities in here, so we got a new a new room.
Yeah, take us on a little tour, but don't show the board now. No sensitive information.
We got the G right there, and then we got the receiver seats right here.
Those are cozy.
Cozy.
Yeah,
Okay.
We got the rim. We always get our shots up when we can. You feel me?
What do you mean y'all get y'all shots up? Are y'all competing in there?
Usually every Friday, like we'll compete. Everybody go up to the room. You know, if you make a shot, you stay. If you miss, you out. So.
Where are you at?
The last 2 weeks, you feel me? I got to get back on my grind.
So who is the best basketball player in the receiver room?
I'm gonna say me all day.
I like that.
I'm not a shooter. a shooter.
Brendan, you're not a good basketball player if you're not a shooter.
He could be a facilitator.
I know you're not talking.
I'm a facilitator.
There you go.
He's a facilitator.
You're not standing in front of me. I'm going to say it like that.
You the point guard? Is that what it is?
Point guard.
I respect that.
People like me need people like you on the court. Just get the rock to me and let me take over.
Oh, my gosh.
Sure.
All right.
Listen, speaking of people needing each other, I mean, it is clear by the season you are having that you are Jordan Love's absolutely favorite target. I mean, everywhere you are on the field, he seems to find you, and the connection is just unreal, even early in your tenure playing together. I mean, do you already feel like you are a wide receiver number 1 in this league?
I'm not going to take it that far. I still got a lot of developing to do in my game, man. I'm just here to, take advantage of every opportunity I get. And I give all credit to Jordan, in the offseason before the season started. He got all the wideouts together. We went out to Cali. We all worked out, built some chemistry, on and off the field. So that definitely contributed to, what's going on today and how he's able to distribute the ball.
So talk to me about, the receivers that you looked up to. So who impressed you when you were young? Yeah. Go ahead.
You.
Don't
really?
gas him.
I'm from Chicago. You. Devin Hester, I'm also a returner, so I really looked up to Devin Hester a lot. Steve Smith, there's a lot of guys. Tyreek Hill today, I watch him. I kind of try to model my game after him. So, but no lie, man, like y'all the main guys that I really watched and looked up to, being a kid from Chicago. So it was easy to make those decisions watching y'all.
Well, Brandon, you went 5th round, right?
No, 4th.
4th, okay,
Yeah.
And I mean. You spoke about never being satisfied. You were a receiver taken in the 6th round, I believe. So, I mean, does that change your motivation and how you approach?
So I went 2nd round this year. I didn't think I was gonna go that high.
Okay.
My grade was like a 5th, 6th round grade, but I got taken way earlier than I thought I was.
You were 6th in the 2nd round, right?
Yes, I was a 6th pick, 6th receiver taken.
So are you motivated by that in any way, shape, or form?
I'm never satisfied. I still feel like I got a lot to develop in my game. I haven't proven anything to anybody yet, in my opinion, and I still got a lot to build on, and still got a lot to do. I'm obviously not doing enough for us to win right now, so I still got a lot to work on. We got a lot to work on as a team.
So Jaden, Jordan is placing an all-time great at quarterback, right? And Aaron Rodgers, and he's been getting a little bit of criticism, a little bit of flack. Personally, I love him. I think he'll be fine. But out of your mouth, what can you tell everybody about your quarterback?
Man, he a guy that don't blink. He don't pay attention to the noise. Just like this today, we just got done watching film with each other. We continue to do the same thing we do every week. I think he really had a really good game last game, and it didn't turn out well for us. And he just continued to be a leader. He gonna be him regardless, no matter what nobody say about him. And he attack every week with the right mindset, and he the reason that I go out there, I compete my tail off every week, and everybody on this team is behind him. So no matter what nobody's saying outside this building, what's going on in this building is all that matters. So.
What makes him special, bro? Obviously you've had quarterbacks throw you the ball in high school, in college. Obviously you're a rookie, so this is your first, crack at it. But from where you sit, what makes him special?
Just from my perspective, man, he just cared. You could tell he cared. Just, the little things, like I said, the offseason, he reached out to all the receivers and made sure we got work in. And watching these films, doing these meetings, stuff like that. He asked his receiver what we think. You know what I'm saying? What are we seeing on the field so we can see it from the same eye view. Just little stuff like that, man. Just keeping us together and make sure we all on the same page. Because at the end of the day, we the ones going out there and seeing all that stuff on the field. So just his mindset and his the way he approached the game.
You are from the Chi. We already discussed that. And you played college ball in the Midwest, and now you're playing pro ball in the Midwest. We hear Brandon tell stories about, was it Appleton, Wisconsin?
Yeah, Appleton.
I mean,
I ain't never been there, but I heard about it.
What is it like playing and living in Wisconsin? I mean, it's got to be a little bit different than Chicago.
It ain't nothing out here. I love it, though, because, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just lock in. You know what I'm saying? Do your job, go home, and, wake up the next day and do it again. I think this is a real good place for a young guy like me to start my career, just to lock in on what I need to and, just put the work in. Ain't nothing else to do here. So that's what I love about it. And just being a kid from Chicago, it's definitely a lot different.
So, Jordan,
go ahead.
So, Jordan, I know you mentioned that you watched B before. You like the way he played the game. You being a rookie, what corners you seen while you was in college coming up, now that you can face, that you like, I want to play him? Like one corner that you want to go out there, beat, go toe-to-toe with?
Man, that's a lot of great corners. I got a best friend. He just had a game-winning pick six, though, Greg Newsom. He also from Chicago. I want to go one-on-one against him, and I want to tear him up. So,
okay.
We just going to go at it. You know what I'm saying? He going to make plays, I'm going to make plays, and, I just want to go out there and compete with my dog.
It's funny that you said that going to basketball, Kevin Durant, he tweeted something or said something after the Suns played the Lakers where he was like, one day people will realize that we compete harder against our friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right?
No
So
doubt.
a lot of talk there. Really quickly, so where are you guys like living? Where's the facility? Because I'm looking at the map of Wisconsin. I see Appleton here.
Yeah.
Where are you guys? What's the name of the county?
Ashwaubenon.
What?
Right by. Look, I ain't never heard of it till I got here. But it's Green Bay and Ashwaubenon. Like, it's real close. Basically, it's like neck and neck.
I'm looking there.
I live in a town called De Pere, and it's probably like 15 minutes away. So I drive about 15 minutes to get to the facility. So
Right. I'm asking because I felt like that's where we would stay. It was Appleton, Wisconsin. That's where the hotel.
Yeah, that's where usually all the away teams stay. That's about 30 minutes away. I want to say 25, 30.
Sheesh.
Oh.
Well, go ahead. No, go ahead, Brandon. Go ahead. Before I
How
close
does it feel being from Chicago and now playing in Green Bay? Bro, that rivalry is serious.
It is. It's crazy. I wouldn't have thought in a million years that I would have been here, to be honest. And I'm definitely thankful and blessed to be here. You know what I'm saying? The older you get, the more you stop being. You just watch football now. So like, I ain't really have a favorite team. Like going into college and stuff like that. I was just a student of the game, and I just watched every game that was played. So it's a blessing to live out my dream here in Green Bay. So I'm definitely highly grateful and thankful for it.
Well, congratulations, bro. You've been balling. The city is proud of you. All of the fellow alum receivers is watching. You find yourself on this board nominated for the NFL Rookie of the Week nominee. It's a big deal. Take it all in. And if you ever need anything from me, hit me up, bro.
No doubt. I appreciate it. I started working out. First place was Fit Speed. So with my dog Kofi.
You ain't tell me that.
Man, for sure. I done FaceTime you, I think, one time, but it was way back. I was about maybe a sophomore, junior in high school, so it was way back then.
Bro, that's what we were supposed to be talking about.
Troy Jones. I trained at House of Athlete before pre-draft. Troy Jones, I know all the guys. So,
bro, we never connected? Was I here when you came to train?
You was in Tampa. I was at the one in Weston.
Oh, that's wild. That's where we're at today.
Well, before we let you go, we've been asking all of our rookies to fill in the sentence. Well, I've been asking all of our rookies to fill in the sentence. So it's my rookie year will be what?
That's a good one. It will be man, that's a good one. I'm gonna have to think about that one.
You gonna text us?
It's gonna be great.
I'm okay. Absolutely, that's perfectly fine. Listen, Jaden,
I'm in the bind right now. You know what I'm saying? We ain't doing too good right now. So It's like I'm more of a team guy. I don't want to put my personal goals out there. I mean, it ain't bad to do that, but I want the team to win first before what I'm saying, individually.
Spoken like a vet. Well, listen,
it's gonna be turned around.
I like that. Okay, that's a good one. Jaden, thank you so much for joining us. And listen, first and foremost, we wish you a healthy remainder of your season and a successful remainder of your season. And we hope to speak to you again soon.
Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good one.
Love, bro.
Love, much love.
Listen, much love for Jordan for joining us on our segment. This has been Pepsi Zero Sugar NFL Rookie of the Week, a.k.a. Yo Rookie. And this is just a reminder, if you want to vote for Jaden or any other of the Week 10 nominees, make sure you guys visit NFL.com/voting/rookies. That's NFL.com/voting/rookies. This has been Yo Rookie, presented by Pepsi Zero Sugar NFL Rookie of the Week. All right. Listen. We are now going to switch gears a little bit, and I'm back, so you know what that means. How about them Cowboys? Yeah, you guys didn't think just because, yesterday was Monday that we were going to skip the Cowboy talk, did you? Because we're not.
Where'd you
I'm
pick
back.
up this accent?
That's how Jimmy Johnson used to say it.
For real?
How about them Cowboys? Yeah.
Why doesn't he say it anymore?
Because he's not.
Oh, Jimmy, I thought you said, my bad. I think we were talking about Jones. My bad. Oh, he used to say that?
Yeah, in the locker room. He said, I just got one thing to say to y'all. How about them Cowboys? That's where he came from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Where Aikman and them were there. Yeah. It's a famous video.
You think y'all going to be saying that postseason?
Hell yeah, we're going to be paying.
You think y'all going to be saying that in February?
Hell yeah, we're going to be saying it in February. Listen, for the second time this season, the Dallas Cowboys absolutely crushed their NFC rival, the New Jersey Football Giants, and it was an absolute monster performance, just one of the latest from wide receiver CeeDee Lamb. 3 straight games for him with at least 10 receptions and 150 receiving yards. The only player in history to do that.
Me?
Just gonna go. The only player in history to do that was CeeDee Lamb. Yeah, sorry.
So.
Well, listen, Micah Parsons had some things to say about his teammate, and check this out.
Number 88, CeeDee Lamb, 11 receptions, 151 yards, 1 touchdown. The first player in NFL history with 3 straight games with 10-plus receptions and 150-plus reception yards. He is, without a doubt, a number 1 receiver. I went up to CeeDee and I was like, well, A.J. Brown, he had 6 games straight over 125. After he had about 140 in the game, he said, you ever see somebody go for 150 3 games in a row? I said, nope, I haven't. If I get my top 3 right now, who's playing at an elite level right now has to be Tyreek Hill, A.J. Brown, and CeeDee Lamb.
Ooh.
All right.
Micah be spitting, huh?
Yeah, he do. I gotta tune into his show.
He be spitting.
Every week
Listen.
he got something special.
Brandon, wide receiver to wide receiver. Obviously, CeeDee's own teammate may not 100% agree with him, but that's okay.
Right.
How would you rate CeeDee Lamb right now?
Right now,
Let's go ahead. Let's say there's
Right.
5 of the top receivers in the NFL right now.
Yep.
Where do you put CeeDee Lamb
I'm looking at
based on
Tyreek
how
Hill.
he's been producing so far?
That's right. So Tyreek Hill, let's go to the last few games. They just played KC over, was that Germany? He had 62 yards. The week before that, 112 yards. Week before that, 88, and then beginning of October, 163, 181. Last 3 games, if we're going to look at that, the hottest receiver, CeeDee Lamb is 1.
Ooh.
CeeDee Lamb is 1, right? Like, obviously, Tyreek Hill is the best wide receiver overall, but we're talking about who's hot right now.
Who's hot?
There's nobody hotter. Micah already went through it. We already went through it. So that's what I'm going with.
How you going, B-Flow?
I mean, whenever it's debatable, you got to give him the benefit of the doubt, right? Like, so for me, I'll never go against Tyreek Hill just because what he brought all season. Like you said, in these last 3 games, what he brought, Tyreek been doing that all season. A.J. Brown been doing it for longer than these last couple of games. And it's not CeeDee Lamb's fault. Like, he kept telling them, like, I'm not getting targeted. I don't even have a chance to get off. So being that he wasn't targeted, it wasn't his fault because receivers are different than corners. Like, we can do our thing. We don't care what nobody else doing for the most part. As long as we're getting a decent pass rush with y'all have to get the rock thrown to y'all to produce. So being that, it wasn't his fault the first couple of games, it's arguable. Like, you can argue it. It's debatable. So I give him that. Like, he's doing his thing. You can't take nothing away from him.
It's so interesting right now in the NFL, bro. There's so many elite wide receivers, and it really is about situation. It's about who's your quarterback. It's about who's your play caller. CeeDee Lamb, like you just said, he goes out there and he has to complain. He has to whine, what we say, whine to get the rock. But he's showing you who he is, right? Like, why did it take for him to do all of that to put himself in his position, which in turn put the team in a better situation? And so it sucks. That's why we always look at receivers. When we look at receivers, like, oh, they're malcontent, selfish, this, diva. It ain't that. It's if we're not standing up for ourselves and we're not saying, yo, we can help the team win, these offensive coordinators, these quarterbacks, man, they just stay in a box. They stay in a bubble. But this is what he was whining about. This is what why he was malcontent. It's like, I can make this offense better. And he's been on a heater, bro.
And I bet Jerry Jones is feeling just a little dumb right now because if you remember, when CeeDee came out and said this, whether directly or indirectly, when talking about lack of touches, Jerry Jones came out and said, look, there's a lot of football to go around and we got to get everybody involved. Does CeeDee deserve more touches? And he flat out said no. You got to get the tight ends involved. You got the other wide receivers involved, other things like that. But I think that, when Amari Cooper was sent to Cleveland, it was always expected that CeeDee Lamb was wide receiver number 1. And there was a lot of conversation on whether or not he was ready to take on the wide receiver 1 responsibilities because Amari Cooper was absolutely fantastic. But I think that, my standpoint on that was you can't go ahead and make that assessment unless you put him in that position. And he really wasn't put in the position to showcase whether he was wide receiver 1 up until these past few games. And I think that he has shown that for this Dallas Cowboys team, for this offense, he is more than capable of being wide receiver 1. And now that he has been given the touches, given the responsibility, given the opportunity, you see that he's ready. He's prime and ready for the position.
That's right.
B, I want to get your take on this real quick. I think McCarthy doing a great job getting the ball in his hands, putting him at the number 3 spot when they have 3 receivers to one side. He's giving them the ball on reverses, right? Getting the ball in his hand. Do you think if McCarthy goes stagnant and CeeDee has to be on the outside and just say, beat this number 1 top corner 1-on-1, do you think he had the same kind of effect on the game? Like, is he that nice?
Yes, but then I can't put him in the top 3 or top 5
when it comes to that skill set.
Yeah, like that's a totally different ball game.
That's what I wanted to know.
Yeah, it's a totally different ball game when you got to line up against the best of the best, and you're just out there on that island. And it's not just you going against the best corners. Being, you know this, when you have a guy like CeeDee Lamb out there, and you know he can, at any given moment he can make a big play. Those safeties start cheating over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so you're really facing 2 guys when you're that guy on the island. But I don't think Coach McCarthy's going to cool off.
Yeah.
And we talked about this. I think it was like 2 weeks ago. I was like, man, Coach McCarthy called his best game ever as a play caller, I felt. And then he followed it up again last week. They're just so creative, man. He's doing a hell of a job, and I feel like he's hitting his stride these last couple weeks. So I don't see him cooling off. It's more so on Dak. Like, are you going to make those plays? Because the play caller can only do so much, but Dak got to be out there and get them in right situations. Dak got to be out there and put the ball in the right spots. So it's really going to be on them to see if they can keep this up. I like where Coach McCarthy's at right now, though.
Well, listen, all eyes will continue to be on my Dallas Cowboys and also on their rival, the Philadelphia Eagles, who had a bye this week. Their next opponent is the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, as we know, these two are in competition. These two are going back and forth, trading punches to go ahead and, be the NFC East king. And there's never been a back-to-back division winner in the history of the NFC East. So there's a lot on the line for the Eagles to break history. And there's a lot on the Cowboys to make sure that the Eagles are not able to break history. So we shall see. So we're going to go ahead and move on a little bit to some football. Well, some fashion in football, shall I say. Now, Brandon Marshall, B-Flow, you guys have, had tunnel walks throughout your career. And
I started the tunnel walks.
If you want to take that title, bro, I'm not going to argue with you about it.
I was just waiting to see if he had a
If you want to go ahead and take it, it's cool.
A pushback. You have any pushback to that?
Nah, he want the title. Go ahead and take it. I ain't tripping.
Seriously, like I know we got to dive into this, but what I would start doing, let me stop. Like, I don't know who started the
You
tunnel
already
walks.
started it now, bro. You might
I ain't started to, but I like put structure around it, right? And the reason why I say that, because nobody was really taking pictures like jumping out your car and then going in the tunnel, right? And so like I used to have the camera dudes like, yo, I'm pulling up right now, meet me here. It's a thing now. This is a part of the whole game day rituals for teams and organizations, et cetera, et cetera. And so I would have the teams do that. But then also when you jump off the bus, what we got in our hands, B? We got all of our bags. If we coming from the hotel, you got a plastic bag for the food that you about to eat potentially when you get in the locker room, right? So I was like, man, this is trash. Gonna mess up the pictures. So I start having like the PR people and everybody else hold all my stuff and walk straight in. So I feel like, okay, I start putting structure around the tunnel walks.
There we have it. History lesson.
Well,
Brandon
listen,
Marshall
another history lesson is Brandon says that he was one of the first athletes to wear pajamas in the tunnel. I remember you telling me that story.
Well, practice and warm-ups.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So one of the first to do it. Well,
You Soulja Boy right now.
I know.
Brad,
You on a roll, B.
word for word, bar for bar, flow for flow.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Deion Dawkins is your Drake because he showed up nearly naked for Monday Night Football. Yeah.
I love this.
Pajama pants, no shirt.
This is fly. He wins the week. Big boys are in. Look at him. I mean, is it a debate? I love what go ahead, Ash. I know where you're trying to go.
Go ahead.
I love what guys are doing now, right? Especially, the big guys. They're coming in costumes. One dude walked in with a bat. And now you got him taking off his shirt. This is amazing. He wins the week for me. He wins it.
He could have threw on like 3 or 4 chains to accessorize it, go kind of rapper vibe. Right there, to me, it just looked like he forgot his shirt. Right? You gotta put some shades on or something to accessorize it.
I see what you're saying.
Like you gotta do one more thing up top to accessorize it. Then he'd have been, you know what I'm saying?
Yo, the shades
would have been
in the chain would have took it to a whole nother level.
It'd have been elite. You wouldn't have been able to touch it.
So maybe we clip this and we send it to him. I think I have his cell number. Maybe we hit him up.
I'm not a fan.
Maybe we hit him up and we tell him like, yo,
Shades
do
and
it
chains
again.
would have been fly.
But he can do it again. This could be his thing.
Yeah.
This could be his thing. I think he should continue it because he can't compete with Stephon Diggs and the OBJs and the Kyler Murrays walking into stadiums. Like if you want to be on the top 5, you want people to continue to talk about you, keep your shirt off.
Yeah.
Add the shades.
I'm not a fan.
What?
I'm not a fan.
Why?
What was wrong with it?
It's just not. I'm just not a fan. Like I just don't like put a shirt on. Like what are we doing?
It's fashion. It's a statement.
It would have been different if like, okay, you see how he is in the the headline on the bottom right here,
right?
The lower third where he has like a blazer on and his shirt is off underneath it.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. That's cool with the chains or whatever. But like, it looks like he's like rolling out of bed to go like brush his teeth in the morning.
Is
like
it because he's an old lineman?
It's nothing to do with his body type. It's just,
I'm
it's
just
not.
saying.
If you did it, I'd be like, put a shirt on.
Nah,
it's just
you'd
not.
be like,
It's
whoa.
Whoa. No, I just feel like it's just not. I don't know. Like he could have jazzed that up a little bit. If you wanted to go shirtless, I feel like he could have jazzed it up a little bit. Maybe put a blazer. Maybe if it was like a matching tracksuit type of vibe, and he wanted the cozy vibes, and he had like a blazer, like the jacket on. Oh, look at Brandon.
Oh, y'all found that? How the heck y'all found?
He started everything.
What?
Brandon, you had on Broncos PJs?
And I've never seen that shot on the left, the overhead shot. That's fire. Where'd y'all find that? Thank you.
Why were you wearing Broncos PJs versus just
So what had happened was, I'm always the first. You feel me? You know,
I believe it
Soulja
now.
Boy. Yeah, he said, I believe it now. So we get to the stadium and I forgot my warm-ups. Okay, this is game day. I forget my warm-ups. So I hustle and I go into the team store, all right? And all they had was pajama pants. So I put them on and I warmed up pregame in pajama pants. Jay Cutler, Coach Shanahan, the Champ Baileys of the world, they looked at me and was like, yo, what are you doing? And I was like, hey, man, my bad. I just forgot. But then I enjoyed it so much and it stood out that I continued it. So not only on game day, but I did it in practice. Like, that's what I practice in if we didn't go full pad. So that's what I practice in, and it was a thing, even to a point where, if I was a savvier back then, more of an entrepreneur, I was always an entrepreneur, but more like, savvier on the branding side, I would have actually went full speed ahead on the pajama deal. Like, I dropped the ball there.
So, B, you mean to tell me the equipment manager ain't have one pair of extra sweats, like for the game, not one?
No, I was looking for a specific cut. Remember back then, and even these are baggy. This was probably, 2007, 2008. Bro, like we was wearing everything baggy. And so, like, I was looking for a particular cut. And so that's why I didn't wear the team issue stuff, because I had them cut something
But,
for me.
like, for practice, did it really need to be a particular cut? It's not a game. Like, what you're wearing pajama bottoms. It's not like, you know what I mean? Like, what would have been wrong with the cut that they had available?
Well, the cut, the team issue stuff, it was baggy. They didn't fit right. So I had them customize what I wanted, what I wore in practice, and that's what I left behind. And so, boom, I tried to find that, and I tried to find that in the team store. They didn't have it, and so I saw those, and I got them, and it just turned into this thing to the point, I think when Josh McDaniels comes back into the story. Josh McDaniels comes, bro. I was doing this for 3 years, I felt like. 3 years doing this. Coach Shanahan didn't care about it, all right? The owner, Mr. B, didn't care. Josh McDaniels come in, he says, we won't be wearing those. And I should have wore them anyway. I don't know why I gave in. I was like, all right, coach, no problem. So that's another Josh McDaniel moment, how he made me mad.
From Brandon's photos to my photos, I'm going to share some pictures from my vacation from Belize with you guys right now before we dive into some more football. So, Andrew, let's go ahead and tee up. What do we got here? I don't know what order this is in, so I'm just going to be winging it with y'all. Roll. Here we go. Okay, so this is a sunset from the villa. Absolutely beautiful. This is how the sunsets looked
Okay.
Normally, these are the frozen margaritas I was downing like it was going out of style. I mean, I probably was having like, I don't know, like 12 of these.
Did you get drunk?
It was kind of lit. It may or may not have been intoxicated. Yeah, I was downing these like they were going out of
I've seen
business.
Ashley intoxicated before. She's obnoxious.
No, wait, time out.
Yes,
no, I
yes,
am
you are.
not.
The Fanatics party.
I wasn't obnoxious.
You weren't obnoxious. Like,
I'm
you were rowdy. You were fun. Like you
I'm
were like,
fun. Yeah.
Oh, you're a fun drunk. That's
like she's so cool and calm.
Yeah,
like,
when I get like a little bit more extroverted.
Yeah,
Like
it's
normally,
I do too.
Yeah.
I do
I'm more
too.
like calm, cool, like chilling in the corner. Like when I'm like, but then a couple in, I'm like, let's turn. Like
Yeah, I was like,
I'm the
who
same
is
way,
this?
though.
I was like,
Yeah.
who is this person?
It makes my
I'm the
alter
same
ego
way, bro.
come out. Yeah, it makes my alter ego come out. And then like the next day, I'm like, yeah. So like, what happened last night? Yeah, that's me. Okay. All right, let's see what else we got here. Roll it. Okay, so look, that's vacation me, but this
What's
picture,
this face that you're giving?
it's just, this is, you wouldn't know, this is model vibes. You know what I'm saying? These two young women were two of the women who were part of the high school that we did the basketball camp with. So this was really cool. This is actually the court. So the court is insane. There's so much sand on it that it's so slippery. So it's insane how they don't fall. Like you would think you see NBA players and a little bit of water on the court, they slip. Imagine that, the entire court, like it's covered in sand. And the crazy thing about this, on the whole entire island, this is the only basketball court in existence.
Wow.
So
Wow.
whenever there's a game or whenever, there's, practices, they have to do a schedule. They have to create a schedule where everybody can go ahead and use the court. So it was just insane to see how other, places, approach basketball and what basketball looks like on their islands. And the bleachers are on the side underneath like this tin roof. So it's like indoor, outdoor, but it was very, very cool experience being able to, expand basketball, the horizons of basketball, something that's changed my life in so many ways to this island. And they were so grateful to just have us there. And they asked us questions about our careers and, what's it like being a woman in sports. And I love the fact that of all the people who wanted to play, it was probably 85% girls there.
Oh, nice.
So I absolutely love that. So that was cool. What else we got, Andrew? These are all my vacation
goodness.
looks.
Oh my goodness. This is we could. I was like, put the
These
pictures.
are
I was
all
like, no.
my
we can't.
looks. I like to do color when I'm on vacation. Normally I'm in black and white in the States. These are my vacation looks. So green, pink, white. Depends on the day. Depends on the vibe. I actually was able to pack all this in a carry-on, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah,
I mean, I can
I'm a
believe that.
master. I'm
Yeah.
a master packer.
I can't do that.
Yeah, I'm a master packer.
What did your dad say about these outfits?
Nothing. My dad's been on vacation with me. He knows how I get down.
You're not wearing these outfits with
Yes,
your dad.
I would. I would wear these with my parents. I'm on an island somewhere. I'm not walking around
Jeff-
the design district
Jeff,
like this.
Patty, I know you guys are probably maybe in the chat. Do you guys sign off on these outfits?
Yes, my mom. Listen,
The
my
pink
mom knows
one,
how
fine. The pink one, fine. But this green and
What do
white.
you mean? I'm on vacation.
Oh my goodness.
What do you want me to wear?
Oh my goodness.
turtleneck?
Something.
She's on vacation,
Something.
bro.
Beeflo
Let
knows.
her be on
See, Beeflo
vacation.
knows. Beeflo that style. He
Let her be on
knows.
vacation. I'm not complaining about the
She
pics.
said, "What do you want me to wear? Something."
I am wearing clothes. Are these
agree.
not clothes?
Continue to wear them, man.
Thank you, Beeflo. All right, let's keep
I
it
am not
moving. What else do we
complaining.
got here? We have. I don't know if we had any videos, but there were some cool videos of the sharks and the island when you're kind of flying from the mainland to. Here we go. These are the sharks.
Oh,
Look
that's
how
dope.
cute. Brandon, would you
nice.
go in there and swim?
Hey, I know these are the nurse sharks.
Nurse sharks, yes.
Nurse sharks. I know they don't bite, but
no.
no.
What
No,
about you,
I'm
Beeflo? Are
straight.
you going in there?
I don't do the water. No,
Do you not? You
so
can't swim, or
I can pool swim. Like I can swim to a wall, but I can't be in the ocean and tread water.
Yeah.
You know
what?
what I'm
How
saying?
do you swim in a pool then?
Swim to the wall.
But if you can swim in a pool side to side, you should be able to swim.
I can't tread water. That's two totally different things.
So how are you? Oh, like you
Yeah.
can't just stay
Yeah, I
afloat.
can't just stay afloat
Like you could
and just
swim,
yeah, I can
but then you
swim.
gotta stop.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
It's
yeah.
very,
There we go.
it's very easy.
Hey,
We
yo,
gotta teach people how to swim. I
I was
swim
in
backwards,
I was in the
forwards.
Mediterranean. I don't even know where we were in the Mediterranean. It was me, Rudy, Gay, and our families together, and we had the yacht out for the day. And so there was this one little spot where you can go take some not beautiful pictures, but it's like a dope little beach or something. But you had to swim over there, bro. The water was so crazy. We all almost drowned. It was crazy swimming from the boat, and it didn't seem that far. Bro, I was like floating on my back for about 10 minutes, like, yo, I'm about to drown. This is not good. But you gotta be careful with that water, Ashley.
Why?
What do you mean? Like if it's dangerous.
Listen.
Fish.
I've jumped
Waves?
in. I've told this story before. Like when I went to Benami, we had docked the boat in the middle of the ocean, and the beach was probably like from here to like the front of the facility.
Yeah.
I swam there.
So that's about, I don't know, maybe somebody in the chat can
I
help us
swam
out, or
there.
somebody
Like,
listening on Sirius XM. That's about 20,000 square feet.
Yeah, like from
10,000
here to the
square
front. I
feet.
swam from here to the I'll swim. I'll just lay in the ocean like backwards. Like
Yeah,
I'll swim. Like I love
doing
being in
that.
the water. Like
You're wild.
It's absolutely one of my.
I don't
favorite
even want
things.
no fish touching my feet, let alone a
I'm
shark.
with it.
What do you do on vacation? Just look at the ocean?
Yep.
That's insane.
Get to my waist. That's it. Go
Oh
to my
my
waist.
God.
That's all you
it.
need.
That's it.
Somebody asked me Belize versus Jamaica, which one is number one? For me, still Jamaica. Jamaica has such a special place in my heart. I've been 4 times now, and I try to go to a different area each time. But Jamaica's my favorite spot. I'm actually probably gonna go again this summer. I just try to go really, really as many times as I can. It's a beautiful country. All right, let's dive into some more sports, guys. Someone says I'm a water Pokemon for sure. I'm definitely like Squiggly Puff or something like that.
Oh my goodness.
No, Squirtle. I'd be Squirtle.
Squirter.
No, Squirtle.
Squirtle. Squirtle. Sorry. I can't.
Oh my God, Brandon!
How you say it?
It's Squirtle.
Squirtle. How you say it? Bro, that don't say that. Yeah. Yo. Hey, yo. I'm glad we on YouTube. V, what you think? Say it, V.
I don't even know the name of it.
Say it. Let's see if he's
Squirtle.
Squirrel?
Squirtle.
Squirtle. Squirtle.
Yeah. Yeah, yo.
Squirtle.
Yo.
Okay, hold on. Wait. You didn't hear what he said?
No, what he said.
Bruh, what do you think? Bruh.
Here, this is what he said.
B, but it don't sound like that's what it sounded like. I'm like, yo.
All right. We're gonna switch gears here, and
I'm sorry. Come on, let's go.
Ow, we're gonna talk Kobe and LeBron. Listen, former NBA player Shane Battier was asked about the hardest player to guard during his NBA career, and we're always talking about Michael Jordan, the comparisons of Kobe to Jordan or LeBron to Jordan, and the combination of the three of them, the trifecta, if you will. Well, listen, Sean Battier had this to say. It wasn't actually MJ that was one of the toughest to guard. It was between Kobe and LeBron, and his answer is?
Toughest I ever had to guard were Kobe, LeBron, KD.
Okay.
And Kobe because he was,
I was about to say
mentally. I mean, like I caught LeBron before he could shoot, right? Like he got to Miami and learned to shoot. Like before, he just put his head down and just try to run you over. So like, if you got a step, it's over. You can't do nothing about it, right? Yeah. When he gets downhill and transition, he's the greatest transition player of all time, right? So you know, I caught him before he really could shoot. So you'd gap him, and you could bait him into those long, you know, bron fadeaway jumpers. You know, I think he's a much better shooter now. But Kobe just mentally, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with this. My list would actually go Kobe, KD, probably Bron would be third. You also got to put like Luka in the conversation. He's Luka's.
You know, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah. But I think that Kobe, his bag was so deep. You know, Kobe was an interesting player because he had a combination of, he reminds me a lot of Kyrie, who's another person I would put on that list, because Kyrie, much like Kobe, has so many different aspects of his game. It's not just the American game. You know, if you watch Kyrie play close enough and you're familiar with the different types of NBA or basketball styles, you know, Kyrie, Kobe, They had the American game. They had a little bit of the European game in their bag. They also had street ball in their bag. You have to remember that Kyrie grew up playing that, in that tri-state area. He's from Jersey. So he had the front and center look to street ball, West 4th, Rucker Park, Dykeman, places like that. Kobe famously played at the Rucker, and he would go there in the off seasons and just support or play pickup games. So his bag was so deep. KD is just one of those players that, like, how do you guard an almost 7-foot ball player who can shoot from anywhere on the court? There's not a position
first though.
Because I feel
it's like you.
No,
like
I feel like Kobe's bag was a little bit sexier sometimes than KD's. It's because he was smaller, he had more of a finesse to his game. KD's, because he's so tall and lanky, there's not the same type of vibe to his game. But he's so hard to guard because he can shoot from anywhere.
Yeah. Shane mentioned it too. He said his mentality, like. When you see Bron in the when you see Jordan in the USA game, he was just like, yo, or the All-Star game, I'm sorry. He was like, hey, when the ball get in Kobe's hands, he ain't passing it. Like, Kobe was trying to kill you on that court every play. KD is kind of like, the game come to me, I'll take over. But every possession, Kobe was like, yo, I give you.
But what does that mean when he says mentally? Like, we know Mamba mentality, but how does that show up when you're a defender? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, it's like, he's playing chess with me. He gave me this look, and then I wish he would have.
It's very similar to if you watch The Last Dance, and people, the way they speak about Jordan was Jordan, even pregame, was already getting in your head. Like, he would mention things that happened maybe the night before or the last game, or Carmelo spoke about this one time. I think it was with Jordan, or maybe it was with Kobe. I think it was actually with Kobe. He mentioned this. Kobe was trash talking him in pregame, getting inside his head already, that when the game actually started, the animosity and the tension was already there. And that was a lot of Kobe's mentality, was that he got you before the game, before the jump ball even happened, so that it took you off whatever vibe you came into the game with, whatever flow you came into the game with. He completely just dismantled that mentally before he did it physically.
I feel, but for me, I put KD first because he's a 7-footer, right? Like, I feel like KD is the only person that can stop KD.
No, you can stop KD. We saw that in the Celtics series. Yeah, you can defend KD.
They how did they stop him though? He was cold. KD was cold. They gave him problems now, but KD was cold. Like, when KD get cold. And that's why I say that. Like, his bag isn't as deep as Kobe's, like you said it. You said it, you hit it on the head, like, smooth. He made it look good the way Kobe did it. But, bro, there's not a place on the court that KD can't dominate.
Of course, I agree with that.
Thing is
and it's like you're in his face, but she's still gonna make it.
He had more finesse to his game, I feel like.
Yeah,
also,
if you remember, like, young Kobe, he used to finish at the basket. He used to back you down, post you up, hit the tray ball, hit the mid range. Like, there's so many different. Like Ash said, like, his bag was crazy. Imagine you a defender and you getting all of that.
Right.
You know who else was also really, really, really hard to guard? That I put on that list. This guy right behind me.
Melo. Yeah,
Carmelo was a beast. I mean, Carmelo's another player who had just a finesse and still, he still has it. It's actually a travesty he's not in the league, but I digress. He has this finesse, like this pizzazz to his game that's just, it's like watching poetry in motion a lot of the times. It's the same way I feel about Kyrie. Like, Kyrie is special. I would say he's the most Kobe adjacent in terms of the depth of his bag, because he's like a poet on the court. I mean, there's really nothing he can't do with that basketball.
It's like Joker
it's
too.
It's just insane.
Joker's another one, that's active right now. That you go back to the postseason. It's like Joker's another guy that you can not throw in this list of the top 3. Obviously, we're getting, off track here a little bit. But Joker, he feels unstoppable a lot of times.
If the game's on the line and you could only have one player taking the final shot, are you taking Kobe or are you taking Bron?
That's not even a debate.
I'm taking Kobe.
Okay.
Is that a debate?
Some people would say Bron, so that's what I'm asking. Would you take Kobe or you take Bron?
Kobe.
I can't even trust, not a knock to Bron. He's such a great basketball player. I can't even trust that he's going to take the last shot. If he gets to the lane and there's 2 people that come down on him, he's going to kick it over to the open guy.
That's right.
Like, at least I know Kobe, he's going to shoot it over 2 or 3 people because he's going to feel like he's the best player on the court.
Right. Yeah, there's something about, man, what do we say, B? It's like great players make big plays and big moments. What do we say? What is that saying? Like
big players make big time
players
plays and big time games.
Yeah, there's just there really is a clutch gene. There's something that turns on in your head, in those moments. And I don't know for you, but like in like 2-minute drives, 2-minute drills, and key moments in the game, like I literally would like try to activate something.
Yeah,
I would like, for me it was like, all right, the game is on the line right now. I'm willing to go through whatever to catch this ball. Like, going across the middle, if I got to get hit by Troy Polamalu, Ray Lewis is coming, Joey Porter might come, pause, it was,
okay.
I'm just saying.
And I say Kobe too, because Kobe mastered my favorite just shot in basketball, and that's just the mid-range shot. I know people love a three-pointer because it's, it's sexy, it's glamorous, and then, you have layups and things like that. You master the mid-range game, it takes your game to levels that like you could only imagine, and it's just such a skillful shot to be able to exist in the mid-range. That's why Devin Booker gets all those Kobe comparisons. He's also somebody who can just like flourish in the
best
mid-range.
in the league.
I absolutely love I love a player who the mid-range game is like they've mastered that. It's such a beautiful aspect to the game.
You know what?
Truly.
Not to get off track, I just think Bron is more of a European style basketball player. Now, let's just say Bron would have got drafted to San Antonio, right? We would have seen a whole different LeBron. He would have won maybe 8 to 10 rings by now, right? Because he would have called the end of dunking. He would have still had a point guard on Tony Parker. When he drives, he can hit the shot. The Spurs always had, even if it's the guys off the bench like Patty Mills coming, like everybody's going to be able to hit. So you wouldn't have even thought of him passing up the open shot.
Yo, that would have been insane. Why would you do that? That's a whole nother. Yeah, you definitely got us off track.
Superstar.
Could you imagine LeBron James
been nuts on that
and
Spurs
Pop
team
together?
Yeah.
Well, that was a possibility, wasn't it? When he made the
possibility.
decision? No, not coming out, but when he made the decision.
To go take his talents to South Beach.
Yeah,
They say. We don't know, but that was the rumor. So. But listen, we'll talk more basketball probably tomorrow. There's a lot of good games on the slate tonight, so make sure you check that out, especially with no NFL going down. There's a lot of good basketball that's going to be played tonight. But we're going to move on now back to football. And Deshaun Watson and the Cleveland Browns were able to go ahead and pull one out yesterday. Now the team is quietly sneaking under the radar. They are 6-3 and arguably may have the best defense in football, depending on who you ask. Now, Deshaun Watson, however, is getting an MRI after injuring his ankle on Sunday. It's been injury after injury for this quarterback in some way, shape, or form, and it's been very unfortunate to watch after, all the hype surrounding him arriving in Cleveland and the expectations that the fans had, the franchise had for QB1 once he got to Cleveland. It just seems that whatever can go wrong is going wrong, despite the team's winning, the team's performance. Their quarterback is the biggest question mark, I feel like, this season. B-Flow, another potential injury for Watson. Hopefully it doesn't keep him out. There's a possibility that it might. An ankle situation. Last time it was the rotator cuff. It's just been one thing after another. Can you see Watson and the Browns making some noise in the AFC and then also in the playoffs with Watson just being a question mark constantly?
I don't see him being making no noise and making a deep playoff run just because, like we mentioned yesterday, he's in and out the lineup. This team and this offense can't get in a flow and have any type of chemistry when your quarterback is switching week in, week out. And the concerning thing, if I'm a Browns fan, if you've seen when he got hurt, like a routine tackle. It was like on the sideline, like the guy just barely twisted him. And it's like, yo, you can't be injured that much and then that little – I know – everything on the field, it looks lightweight and it looked like it might not injure us, but we can't help it. And sometimes it does injure us, but it's just like, come on, bro. Like, we need you to.
Right. And on top of that, Brandon, the AFC North is loaded. This is not a weak division by any means. The AFC in general, this is not a weak conference by any means. And when your biggest question mark is your quarterback. And we're not talking about just any quarterback. We're talking about Deshaun Watson when he's at his best. One hell of a QB. I think we can all say that. But when that is your question mark, how far can this team actually go in spite of him?
Yeah, well, great question. And I disagree with you, B. I think that they can get on track and they can make noise. It's so funny because think about when we were in the league, we never thought about when we thought about the Cleveland Browns. Well, you didn't see anything good. Let's be clear there, but we definitely didn't think about them as a defensive team, right? Their defense is playing ball, bro, and so when you think about Deshaun and what he can do when he's healthy, it gives you a lot of hope. Here's what I saw watching the last game, right? I saw him. It's almost like Dak Prescott in the Philly game. If you go back and watch Dak Prescott in the Philly game, what did we see? We saw him take off and run more, do more, gave more effort because it was like a gotta have it moment. I feel like in his mind right now, he's playing ball like that. Bro was making plays.
He was terrible in the first half, though.
But I'm talking about his effort, like scrambling, taking hits. So I say all that to say that
effort's never been an issue for him, though.
Well, what I say all that to say that he's probably now going to be like, all right, look, we're in a good position right here, sitting at 6-3. Maybe I don't need to do as much. I don't need to give as much effort. I don't need to take those extra hits because you guys are right. He's been, I wouldn't call him fragile, but he's dealt with a lot of injuries going back to college, right? So I think he might be in a position right now where he's like, we're in a good position right now. You know, he's trying to, bro, you look at it, his statistics, he's not great. So what I'm seeing is a player fighting his ass off trying to get it going. But you can't put yourself in those type of situations where you're taking those extra hits, getting outside the pocket, scrambling, you know, not getting down. So I think they can get back on track, and I think he'll play smarter.
I mean, we're talking about a quarterback, to your point, that's had 2 ACLs, I believe, both in the same knee. Rotator cuff, now an ankle situation. We also know that he's, you know, had time away from the game, so that was a situation. It does look like he's bulked up since his days in Houston. Don't know if that's a pro or a con in terms of injuries and if that has any bearing on injuries. It does look like he's heavier, not fat-wise, muscle-wise, but as you always say, you don't want your quarterback too big.
I'm sorry, Ashley. I ain't trying to offend nobody and disrespect nobody. Okay, so I want to be clear here. B, how many massages did you get a week? Or did you get massages?
Twice a week.
Twice a week. We know this is like I'm saying, like that's a big deal. So I don't even know his routine around massages anymore. Maybe that's the problem.
He's getting them within the Browns organization.
How did that was public?
It's part of, I believe, the stipulation with the NFL. He can only get from the facility, not outside. Right. So he is getting treatments, Brandon.
Okay, because I'm just saying, because it just hit me thinking about like injuries. Massages was critical. I needed one every day.
He's getting treatments. Part of the agreement with the NFL is that he can only receive treatment, I believe, from the team. Whatever they're called.
So it's like supervised. So it's like
okay. Well,
I'm just saying though, that's a big deal when you think about injuries. Ashley, should I just stop?
I don't understand the correlation.
Well, because
he's getting treatment.
No, because the reason why I said that is because I didn't know his routine. Yeah, so you talk about injuries, soft tissue and like just making sure that your tissue is healthy and smooth is a big deal. And so if that was disrupted,
no, it's not disrupted.
But what would you do? Okay, what would you do if you're the Stefanski? Would you sit him for like 2 weeks and have Walker come in? Because Walker been playing solid. Yeah. Or would you have him hobbling, trying to get all the way to the playoffs, and he's never healthy for the remainder of the year?
It depends. Like we don't know the extent, right? Like there's been so many times we've gotten. You know this. How many images have you gotten? X-ray or scans, and you still played,
That's
right?
True, but after this injury, he looked like he didn't want to walk. He just kept looking at the ground like, I don't know if I can put pressure on this thing. Like it's gonna bother him.
It also is a possibility. I mean, Brandon, you spoke about this. You've spoken about this before. It could be partly. I mean, remember, no, not the massages. It could be partly. I mean, think about it. The amount of time he spent away from the game. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of talk about this contract. Did he deserve it? Should he have gotten it? He's not. The showing of Deshaun Watson hasn't been the Houston Texans. Deshaun Watson was the lasting memory everybody had of him. That's right. When he was in Houston, it was the second coming of Cam Newton. That was mm-hmm. He was the prodigy. The next big, greatest black quarterback in the mm-hmm. NFL. The future face of the franchise. A lot has happened since then. Patrick Mahomes has his run. Now he's the face. And then Jalen Hurts comes out. And then you have, Lamar Jackson is cooking. And Dak has his moments where he's cooking. And Deshaun Watson, once the golden child, has not been able to regain that for a multitude of reasons. now it's injury after injury, and his showings aren't great. I mean, mind, body, spirit all connected, and it seems like a lot of the times he looks, one, lost, and two, looks defeated. And when you speak about the ankle situation, it's just when it's one thing after another, and we spoke about this when we were talking about Jamal Adams, what that does to you and how you can't get back to what people remember you as. It takes a toll on you, and that's what it looks like. It looks like it's just one thing after another, and he can't seem to catch a break, and every time he does, something happens. And that's what it looks like to me, and it's going to be interesting how he's able to overcome and combat that, because he doesn't look good, and his body doesn't look good, not physically, but in terms of injuries, from the smallest of things to the biggest of things. And it's unfortunate to watch, because you're almost watching not a derailing, but you're watching him regress almost in real time.
Well, I think this is the hardest part of the game, is like it's I would say for some of us, it's easy for some of us to get there. But or I would say it this way. It's hard to get there, but even harder to stay, right? Because you deal with so much, right? Like, that's why I was saying with Russell Wilson, obviously you guys know I love Russ and we have a relationship, but like you see, like, he's dealing with some real things as a quarterback. And so how do you keep your confidence? How do you continue to try to perform at a high level when you have it feels like the weight of the world on your shoulder, right? Because, bro, like, seeing your name on ESPN, whether like people like talking about your performance or you did something boneheaded off the field, I can't even describe that feeling, like the type of mindset you got to have to just overcome that and keep going and keep going. Josh Allen, that same boat. What are you going to do? So think about Deshaun Watson. Physically, he can still do it. We've seen it, right? But mentally, it's like, yo, when I want to have another 400 game performance, 500 game performance, 4 touchdowns, 5. Until you get into that rhythm and you get that mojo going, it's like you're pressing and you're trying to figure it out. So absolutely, this is the toughest part. This is the toughest part for an athlete, right? Boom, you sat out almost 2 years and you're dealing with some real stuff off the field. And now you got to get back into a rhythm. You got to find your way again in a whole new system. Yeah, he's dealing with a lot, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, listen, we shall see what happens with Deshaun Watson, what that MRI comes back as. But we're going to switch gears and talk about another quarterback, and that is Zach Wilson. The Jets had an absolutely miserable performance.
You wouldn't know
on offense.
You wouldn't know. You was in Belize and you wasn't watching the game.
I have a phone.
You ain't watched though. You was how you going? You was drinking Mai Tais. You only watched the Cowboys.
I was drinking frozen margaritas. Have some respect. The Jets had another miserable performance on Sunday in Vegas. 12 points. Well, let me rephrase. The Jets offense had a miserable performance Sunday in Vegas. 12 points and absolutely 0 touchdowns, but yet Zach Wilson is still QB1. And head coach Robert Saleh says that absolutely will not change. Listen to this.
When speaking about Zach, I get it. There's a yearning for more or whatever it is, but I feel like he played a good game yesterday. He obviously he'll admit that he'd want that interception back, but it is hard. It is hard to make changes just to make changes, just to pacify something. And especially when someone's not deserving. If he was deserving of it, I got you. Like, let's change something. But and that's really for every position. That's a coach, that's a player, that's defensive play. It doesn't matter. You're always trying to look at ways to make sure that everyone is operating at full go. And to say that one person is the reason for everyone failing, I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's right. But again, that's just one man's opinion.
It's a lot.
E-Flow, I'm going to you.
You know what? I believe him. Robert Saleh, he seems.
I don't doubt that you believe him. I'm not asking you to believe him. I'm asking you to tell me what you think about what he said.
No, because he seems like an honest man. Like, if he's not playing well, I believe Robert Saleh come and say he's not playing well. If he don't play well, we'll make some changes.
Right.
But it's one thing when we watch on TV, and another thing when you cut on that film, right?
Right.
Receivers not running the right route. They miss O-line, missing their protection, and it look like Wilson is holding on the ball too long. But it's like, nah, this guy pass protected the wrong way, and he got hit from the blind side, which should have been protected. I told you yesterday, he made a couple good plays when he scrambled out of the pocket, dives for a touchdown or a first down. Like, he shows signs that he can be a decent quarterback.
Why are we doing this?
No,
seriously. Why are we doing this?
I'm trying to go with Robert Saleh and what he's saying.
No, this is the problem. Why are we doing this? Because if this was any other quarterback, he would be getting chastised right now. Like
the reason he's not, though, because he's not supposed to be the starter. This is a backup we're talking about.
Well, he's the starter now, and he was the starter before Aaron Rodgers got there. I hate that we're doing this, because if this was any other quarterback, we always say the quarterback gets the fame, the glory, and he also gets the blame. Like,
that's not necessarily true, though.
But it's true. It's been true in the history of the NFL. It's been true for every other quarterback. I don't understand why.
Okay, I'll give you a scenario.
Keep massaging this kid's ego. Right now, you're the starter, and yes, it's not all your fault. There's a lot of things wrong with this Jets offense. I'm not discrediting that, but there's not, like, they're trying to protect this poor little kid from BYU.
I don't think
it's not that.
I think they're trying to protect their season.
Ash, if you take Trey Lance off your roster, right? Because he's a quality quarterback. If Dak was hurt, out for the year, Cooper Rush wasn't playing good, you guys are not going to beat on the table saying put our third string quarterback in.
Cooper Rush wasn't playing well, and he was making mistakes just like the offense was, and they were all responsible in some way, shape, or form for losing games. I guarantee you, Jerry Jones, Mike McCarthy will be giving some blame to Cooper Rush. He's not rid of blame because he's the backup. It's next man up. You are next man up, and you have not been playing well. That doesn't mean you take all the fault, but let's stop protecting this poor kid's fragile ego and say what it is.
Though.
The team's not, the offense isn't playing well, but neither are you.
No, I don't think they're doing that. I think they're protecting the team, meaning that, like, really good teams don't give us shit. Meaning, like, whatever their conversations they're having with Zach Wilson, they're not going to come out and say, okay, guys, here, hey, Brandon and Ashley and B-Flow, this is what he's doing good, this is what he's doing bad. They're not doing any of that, right?
I'm not saying that they should, but him going out there and saying it's not his fault, he made a couple of good plays. Like,
but that's why I said it's interesting. It's an interesting conversation because when you look at it, right, they lose to the Raiders 12-16. No offensive scores, right? They didn't score at all. And the offense has been stagnant all year pretty much, right? They're not explosive. They're not really doing much. And so when you look at that, you're like, okay, let's start with the quarterback. To Ashley's point, it's like, all right, well, you got to get us going. Why aren't you getting us going? But if you look at the numbers from the game, Sunday night? Was it Sunday night or Monday night? Damn, where are we at? Sunday night. Okay. 23 for 29, 263 yards, and one interception. The one interception, and he talked about this, that was bad because the reason why the interception was bad, bro, is because he stared them down. All you had to do is stare down the middle of the field or look to your left and come back to the curl. The curl was there. These are your fundamentals. So the question is, what are we deeming as a good performance, right? If we're the New York Jets, if you're Coach Saleh, because for some quarterbacks, this is a
23 for 29 is not bad at all.
But you guys you're doing it again. Like, this is what I hate.
No, the reason why we're saying that,
this is what I hate, though, because when Russell Wilson goes out there and has a great game statistically, but the team still loses because of something on the offense, who gets the blame? Russell Wilson. When Dak Prescott goes out there and has 5 interceptions, but only 3 of them were his fault. only 1 of them were his fault, and the rest was his receivers just dropping balls. Who gets the blame? Dak Prescott.
The expectation is totally different for those guys.
I've seen Trey Lance get absolutely dragged by analysts and the media and other coaches, and he barely played for the 49ers. But
here's our challenge, though.
Keep babying
no, but here's
him.
our
He's
challenge. But let me explain it to you. Here's our challenge, B, and I'm starting to understand more of, like, how you approach, ball. It's like when you're in the locker room, right? Like, when you're in the locker room, you're in the film room, you see everything, obviously. We're talking about everything. And so that's why I get on certain players when they come out here and they just give these harsh judgments or they make these harsh statements, because we know we sat there where on some of these plays, the offensive line. It looks like it was the quarterback, but the offensive line broke down. Or it looked like it was the quarterback, but the wide receiver ran the wrong route. So, like, how do we judge this from afar when we're not in those meetings? We don't understand all of their assignments. And I think that's the challenge.
I'm not disagreeing with that, Brand. I completely agree. I'm not saying it's all Zach Wilson's fault, but we're talking about a player who was once a first-round draft pick to be a franchise quarterback who is now a backup quarterback because he's not a franchise quarterback. Let's not pretend that this kid has always been a backup. At one point, people thought the potential to be a starter, to be a franchise leader was there.
Right.
I'm not saying you put all the blame on him, but this every single time the Jets lose and it's offensive based, it's everybody else but Zach Wilson, or he gets the benefit of the doubt. He gets the justification. What are you guarding his feelings for? If he's not your franchise,
They're not, though. Think about it.
They're not discarding his feelings.
No, I'm not.
They're just not telling us that.
But I'm not asking you to go into
So
detail.
you ask him to
But
cut
it's not
him.
even
not
that,
cut him,
B.
but to
No,
bench
I'm
him?
not saying go into detail about what you guys talk in the locker room, but hearing every single time the Jets lose and it's offense based, oh, it's not Zach Wilson's fault. He had a good game. There's other issues. If I'm in that locker room and I'm a receiver or I'm an offensive lineman or I'm a tight end, I'm pissed off. Why do you keep defending him?
Because you got to
Actually, I
anyway.
appreciate
He's not-
it.
Yeah,
If
you
I'm
got
a
to.
tight-
He's
You got
not
to.
your franchise guy, though. You don't need to protect
But what's the
his
alternative, though?
What I'm saying is if you're going to go ahead and blame the offense as a whole, if you're going to go ahead and say that the offense lost the game, don't justify Zach Wilson in the process. Just keep.
Right.
I don't need to hear the excuses. Just say the offense didn't play well. Oh, we need to work. But stop saying the offense didn't play well, but it's not all Zach Wilson's fault. Zach Wilson, he had a good game. There's a lot of things wrong with the offense. Just keep it general. Stop every time you chastise the offense in the same breath, you're protecting Zach Wilson. That's annoying. That's annoying.
But you have to protect
you have to
protect your quarterback like
He's
that.
not even your franchise quarterback.
doesn't
Yeah, but
matter.
you gotta
He's the
protect
guy
all your
running the
players.
show.
Oh my God,
Like, as a coach,
okay.
you have to protect all your players. That's
Yeah.
to me. If I'm in that locker room, I appreciate that
Because one game
I
it could come on
appreciate-
you.
That's right. But B, I appreciate it if internally when we're in those team meeting rooms, we're in those offensive segment rooms, whatever, and we're going through our game plan or we're watching film. If you're up there and you're not correcting him, saying, "Hey, Zach, you're supposed to go here first before you went there. That's a problem. You got to blah, blah, blah." If you're not doing that and you're publicly saying that, now we have a problem. But what's happening in those meeting rooms is everybody's getting called out. Everybody's being held accountable. And so what you want is your head coach and anybody for that matter speaking in front of the camera, always protecting the team, always protecting each other.
I love that and I agree with that, but it's a contradiction when you are going up there and you're saying, everyone in the offense isn't playing well, not going into detail, which is fine. I have no issue with that. But in the same breath, you are always going above and beyond to protect Zach Wilson and his feelings and justifying the offense didn't play well, but Zach Wilson had a good game. He just did it.
But when's the last time anyone in media said, "Hey, the Jets offense is playing bad because of the offensive line. The Jets offense is playing bad because of Nathaniel Hackett,
I don't need you to go
because
into
of the receivers."
what I'm
but
saying
nobody's
is-
doing that.
I know.
Everybody is piling on and trying to attack Zach Wilson. So now in response,
All I'm saying is that if you're going to go ahead and not point the fingers at anyone specific on the offense, I have no issue with that. But stop going above and beyond the extra mile to make sure that everybody knows it's not Zach Wilson's fault. That's not fair to the rest of the offense because Zach Wilson is part of the problem. Okay. He's not the only problem, but he's part of the problem. So that's like me saying if we have a bad show and we all have a bad show, but I say, yeah, the whole cast had a bad show, but Ashley had a great show. Ashley's not the problem.
That's not what he's saying.
That's indirectly pointing the finger at the rest of the offense. That's not fair. Stop doing that. That's what I'm saying by babying him, and that's what he said. Zach's not the problem. Zach had a good game. I can't put it all on one guy. If the whole offense goes down, the whole offense goes down together. Stop singling him out and making sure everybody knows he's not the problem. That's my issue.
Okay.
I just don't see it like that. And I'll wrap it up. I just think he's saying everybody is trying to put it on Zach Wilson, and it's not just him. It's all of us. Like, it's the coaching, it's the offensive line, it's the receivers. It's Zach. He's part of the problem, but he's not the only problem.
I don't hear
That's all
him
he's
saying
doing.
at all he's part of the problem.
This is the hardest thing when you're inside those walls and you're inside that building the hardest thing is controlling the message, right? Like you see Bill Belichick. We laugh at Bill Belichick all the time, but he gives us nothing.
Yeah.
He gives us nothing. The quarterback, what are you going to do? We'll handle the quarterback situation next week. Whatever he does next week, right? And so, like, that really is the best blueprint. Not everybody has that because you're trying to figure out how, because you want to be friends. You want to you want to do a good job for the media covering you because you're thinking down the road when things get a little tough, they give you a little slack, a little grace. But this is the hardest thing to do, especially when you're losing, is controlling your narrative, controlling your message, whether you're a player or a coach. That shit's hard with Robert Saleh.
Before we close out the show, I mean, if you had to put a number on it, Jets' chances to make the playoffs, 50-50, 60-40. What are we looking at?
I give them a 10% chance to make the playoffs.
Damn.
Is it 10% chance?
So 90-10.
Just being real.
Okay. There we go.
Yeah.
Don't take your time now because you were jumping on the table. Aaron Rodgers coming back.
Be real right now. Be real.
About 40 to 50%, somewhere
50?
Yeah. What are you
So
talking about, bro?
50,
They got to talk. B, did you not play defense? And Ashley, you keep saying this, especially in basketball, but it's not true in football. Defense wins championships.
So with all the teams in the AFC North, you're talking about your Broncos can make a run. Like all these teams can't make the playoffs.
Hold on. This Dion Dawkins.
Let me cut the audio real quick.
We on the show right now. Can we pull? This is Double D right here. Can y'all pull up what he wore for the game? Bro, what inspired this outfit? And I have Ashley Nicole Moss and also B Flow here.
Hi.
Yo.
What up, y'all? What up? What inspired the outfit?
Yeah, what inspired? Can we put this up? Yep. What inspired the outfit? Yes, we love it.
Bro, I'm just me, bro. I'm a tattooed big dude, skinny dude trapped in a big dude body, bro. That's what it is, man. So I just try my best.
Bro,
I gotta find ways to steal the show, so that's what I'm gonna do.
I love it. Can you continue to do this, please? What B Flow had a suggestion for you. He said if you'd have put the shades on or a chunk with it, it was a wrap.
I know.
Yes. Okay.
I'm not really a glasses dude, but I got you. For the next time, I got you.
All right, just tell him. And then just say B Flow gave me the idea.
B Flow?
Yeah, Brandon Flowers.
I got you.
All right, bro, you good?
Yeah, I'm solid, bro.
Y'all okay? Hey, what's going on in Buffalo? Don't we live? Hold on. We live. We live right now. So I know you called me off the humbug right now, but y'all good?
Nah, yeah, we straight, bro. It's just a little stutter, man, but it's far from over. You know what it is? It's far from it.
Okay. Tell Josh Allen we said hello. Okay. Tell Stephon Diggs, y'all be good. Okay.
For sure. Just stay together, man. That's all it is, bro. We're just staying together.
All right, bro. Appreciate you. Love.
Well, listen, you never know who's going to pull up to Paper Out. And that was just a perfect example of that. That does it for our show today. If you're listening on SiriusXM Faction Talk 103, we thank you so much. If you are watching on YouTube, we thank you so much. If you want to check out all of the behind the scenes and just craziness that goes on during the show, make sure you check out the I Am Athlete YouTube page and all of our social media channels. And Brandon is going to be going on tour soon with Cam Newton. So we'll talk about that some tomorrow.
Yeah, let's do it.
We'll go ahead and put that in the rundown. Until then, tomorrow's hump day, and we'll see you then. Bye, guys.
Yeah.
That tour's